All right. We are here at Spa, nonetheless. One of just the outright best motor racing venues in the world. I am so thrilled for this one. How's everybody doing this fine evening? If there's anybody else tuning into this, which at the moment I don't believe that there is. That's quite alright. Oh no, my voice chat has been suspended. Anything but that. I think we're going to turn up the music just on account of... That actually took away from like the in-game F1 music and as well as the podium music as well. So I'm turning that back on. How's everybody doing this fine evening? Not just fine, I mean mighty fine. We're here, we're at Spa for what should be one of the better races of the season, I would think. I mean, we've already had a pretty fantastic season in its own right. But here we are. Let's see if I can... Ow! This is the weekly segment now where I play guitar poorly. Because, I mean, it's not my fault. Because for whatever reason, the action is so terribly high on this. This is now my pastime. We're not playing taps, we're playing Johnny Cash. That was terrible. See that ringing noise? What is that? It's a... See, what is that? I hate that noise. I don't know what's doing that. I do like playing the guitar. I'm not very good at it. My guitar was a $100 piece of shit that I found on the Facebook Marketplace, and I play it because I'm bored. But now here we are, and what a special race I think this is going to be, because it's not only as well we're at one of the better racing circuits in the world, we also have no racing line on for this one as well, which I think is just going to make things so much better. Is there a way I can edit hashtags? tags. F1. F125. F125. Game. Esports. EA Sports. Spa. Oh wait, that means Spanish. Formula 1. Add up to 10 tags. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, we figure out a couple of more. Midwest. F1 game. Sounds good to me. Fantastic. Select content labels. Gambling. No, this isn't gambling. Significant profanity or vulgarity. That's not a territory we've gotten into yet. Perhaps we can mess around with that. I know somebody that I've been watching a lot of recently is Mooncar. The Travis Moonhead Brown streaming the iRacing and doing the NASCAR and whatnot. I find that so fun to watch. How's everybody doing tonight? I mean, it's ooh, we have a, okay, I was going to say ayahuasca temporarily readied up as a spectator, which would have been slightly odd. But anyway, I think this is going to be a fantastic race tonight. We've got a very solid amount of cars on the grid. I think 17. I believe the official check-in was... What was the official check-in? I believe it was 18, 19. Look at the check-in. 2 for the Alpines, 2 for the Astons, 2 for the Ferraris, both Haas's, both Saubers, both McLarens, both Mercedes, both Red Bulls, both Willys, and then 1 V-carb of Shariah. So we should have 19, I believe. And for the time being, we have 17, which is not a problem. I mean, 17 is a very good grid. Let me tell you something. I think anything above 15 cars is a very good grid nowadays. Obviously, it's not like... Obviously, it's one of those things where, you know, nowadays, after COVID, everybody got their lives back in order, and the virtual racing isn't as popular as it used to be, but this is fantastic. Shariah has informed us to Cam Tizzle that Cam Tizzle is the only one that we are waiting on or missing for the time being. We can wait the extra 5 minutes. We're already 2 minutes past the schedule, but I'm not complaining because that gives us more time to have a little bit of a chat here before we get going. As we wait now, have a look at the schedule coming up towards the back end of the season. I say even the back end, we're entering kind of the middle 5. You know, we've had 15-round season. This will be round number 6 as we completed the reverse Great Britain Grand Prix last time out. The next 5 look like this. Belgium tonight, Imola, 5th anniversary Grand Prix in Canada, and then Japan. It's a brilliantly great time that we've got coming up here. Oh, and I'll also add Monza to that list as well in the middle third, and then we get into reverse Netherlands, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and then the reverse Red Bull Ring, and into Brazil for the final stage of the season. This has been a very fun season to watch so far. I can't imagine what it's going to be like when we get towards the end of this campaign, and we've got, you know, legitimate, serious competition, I think, for every for every championship and everything else among everything else. I think it's going to be fantastic. We've got 9 points between the top two in the standings right now, between Cali Rob and Fire Flow, 193 to 182. Sorry, that's 11. Oh, I can't count, as it turns out. 9 points back from Fire Flow to Race Chase, so I wasn't always entirely wrong, and just slightly wrong. That's okay, though. Cam Tizzle is in. We're going to get this road on the show. "15 seconds to go until we hit the Circuit Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium. What a time. Ayahuasca, welcome to the stream. Good luck to you tonight in your salver. Should be very fun to watch this one. Keep me posted if there's any weather on the way. And here we are tonight, ladies and gentlemen, from the Circuit Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium for what should be another fantastic round of the 16th Midwest F1 season. We are now entering the middle third. As we finish the first 5 rounds, Race Day took round 1 in Bahrain. Shankadelic took rounds 2 and 3, China and Miami. Ayahuasca took it in Australia. Last time out in Great Britain, actually, for what it's worth. I don't even believe we have the results page updated at the moment. Let's see if I can... No, we do not have results yet from round 5. So, we'll assume somebody won that race. No guarantees. Praying you don't have to go... Well, I tell you what, listen, stranger things have happened. That's definitely for sure. I remember having raced Division 3, or I think it may have been Division... Yeah, I was in the Division 4, Division 3, back a very long time ago, and I actually came down with a stomach ill... I did a bit of a Mark Webber, realistically. I came down with a stomach illness legitimately during the qualifying session. I was feeling good, I got into the seat, and I was making my laps, and then suddenly my stomach churned, and I did not complete that session, unfortunately, as that was one of the least fun times I've ever had. Bright and sunny for the time being here in Spa. That's kind of one of the things that we like to see. The rain is always fun to watch. Like, let's get that clear. But for what it's worth, the racing is better in the dry. And tonight as well for Division 1, we've got no racing line activated for these Division 1 drivers. And I'll be right honest with you as well. Out of the assists that you could turn off, try to become a... Breaking news from Josh Sr. in his Williams. There will be rain in the race. This has turned into a very interesting qualifying session, and we've not even got one car on track, because now these fellas here, what they might start to do, you're going to see them put on a more conservative setup in this qualifying session to make the car easier to handle in the race. Suddenly, we're in a scenario where qualifying is going to be extra important, but will be even more important than that is keeping it clean in the race, as now we have confirmed, at least from one driver, that there will be rain in the Grand Prix session. Shankadelic's Red Bull is going to be the first car out on track, and as we were saying again, this is a no-line Grand Prix tonight, and the thought I was previously having is that of the assists you could learn to live without, I think racing line, having it turned off is one of the more beneficial, and is also one of the easier. It's really not... I'm not going to say it's not hard to have no racing line, because it is. But you get more freedom in the line that you're actually able to take around the track. You are not mentally having to stay comfortable with the same position around the track every single time. You can experiment, you can do things differently, and you can as well, find a way to make yourself quicker. And I think that's something that we're going to look at here, not only in just braking, but with how you take the corners as well. As racing line is basically the safest way around the circuit, realistically. It's not always the quickest, but it is definitely the safest. So for these guys to have racing line turned off, and for these guys to actually have to be able to go out on a limb, and to be able to use their best judgment as to when is braking too late, when is braking too early, when is too early or late to turn in, that is going to make this one incredibly interesting. Let's have a look at the driver and constructor standings here while we have a moment here with Shankadelic making his way through Blanchimont. Cali Rob leads the table by 11 points over Fire Up Flow in second, 193 to 182. Race Chase in third, 9 points behind. Shariah fourth, Weeb fifth, Shankadelic sixth, Houdini seventh, Race Day eighth, reigning, defending, 3 times on the bounce champion in eighth. Cake Thomas 9th, and Lancey rounds at the top 10. Those are the driver standings. We'll get to the constructors soon enough, but here is Shankadelic's first time lap of the session, the first of any. Into La Source, takes it way down to the bottom. Slightly slow on exit, it looked. By kind of the outside eye there, it looked as if he was slightly tentative getting on the throttle. That sort of thing does happen. Up the hill through Rouge and Radion, as it looks as if he's done that quite all right. DRS activated going down the Kemmel Straight. And with DRS activated, we'll head into the Lacombe chicane. This is a fun one in the race, especially with that DRS leading up to it. Lots of issues happen there time and time again. Exiting Malmedy and heading down the hill into Brussels, one of the more difficult quarters on the circuit, but for what it's worth, without having a racing line, I would expect to see some guys experiment with how to take that corner. Into the no-name corner now, exits down the hill in towards the double left at Pouhon. Oh, it's a slight lift there for him. You saw he was going to start to get wide in the first phase of the corner. And this is the French pronunciation, Le Fond. Is that how you pronounce this? I'm not entirely sure. I'm not French. Actually, more Irish than anything else, but that's just, even that's only a quarter. Heading now through Campus and Stavelot, and then eventually heading towards Blanchimont. This is a very much a wide open portion of the circuit. I would not be surprised if we are to see a driver here or there attempt an overtake around the outside of this Blanchimont corner and then make their way into the bus stop chicane, which actually for the longest time was genuinely still a working, usable bus stop as the Grand Prix weekend went on. That's just kind of how it was, as that's where the bus stop was for the circuit. That's why it was called that. 142.829 for Shankadelic as he's made his first time lap happen there. I believe next around the line is Cake Thomas. I don't think it's going to be as fast. It's 144.688 for Cake, as we've got one of the Salvers around the line now. That's going to be Ayahuasca beginning a time lap. We've also got Gottney Weeb coming out of the final corner. I believe he might be slightly behind as well. 144.630 for Gottney Weeb. We've got, who is that? Nikki 64, 144.089. And actually, for what it's worth, Shankadelic's time lap, we kind of expected to see. We expected him to see with good, clean track ahead of him that he was going to have a great time. He's actually got a time now that, for almost slightly looks, I'm not going to say untouchable, as Shirai has gone within 0.2 of that time. But if that's any indication to how well Shankadelic is going to qualify here today, I'll tell you what, these fellas might want to look out. As far as the Constructors' Championship is concerned, the Red Bulls still lead the way. Matter of fact, they lead that table by 70 points back to their sister team, the V-Carbs. In second, the Ferraris in third, as they lead the Alpines by 9, 287 to 278. The Mercedes at 269. The Williams 262. The Saubers at 260. It's a very competitive grid here. 222 for the Haas, 182 for the McLaren, and 166 for the Aston. So that midfield battle there for that third spot, and even I would say up to second as well, it's going to be a fantastic battle for the championship this season, as we're going to get to see just the absolute pinnacle of what this league has to offer. Coming around the line now, that's going to be Cake Thomas. He is invalidated, as well as Nikki 64, so we'll have to worry about any of that. Gottney Weeb, I don't believe, is on a flyer for the time being. I mean, I could be wrong. Sometimes I am. Nope. Into the pit lane for him. Coming up next, we've got Race Chase heading in through the bus stop chicane. This will be a timed attempt from him, as exiting the bus stop on the throttle. DRS activated and across the line. He'll go fourth, 143.592. That's not a bad first attempt for him whatsoever. And especially as well, you have to consider that we believe that some of these guys are going to put on a more conservative, easy-to-handle setup, being that we will have rain in the race session, according to the Williams of Josh Sr., who pinged that in the Discord earlier on. So for what it's worth, I tell you what, this might be this is going to be a very interesting qualifying session. Here's Ayahuasca, 142.793. He's actually got Shankadelic there by only about 35 1,000ths of a second. And Shankadelic's time we thought was really good. Ayahuasca has actually cleared that, albeit only just. So I think that range of the 142, the mid to high 142s is where we're going to start to see some of these drivers take their place realistically. Race day 2016, he's 1.2 off the pace for the time being. as he makes his way into the pit lane after his first-time attempt. I believe we have an Aston coming through the final paces of the lap now. That looks to be Element. He's on an outlap. We've got as well Haas of Drismic making his way into Le Font and eventually into Campus and Stavilo following that. Got clear track ahead of him as well. Element beginning his timed lap now. He's got almost entirely clear track ahead of him, albeit he'll have the Williams of Gottany Weave exiting the pit lane, but I think that's far enough away for him to not have that matter. Pair of the Ferraris out on track as well. Gunnar Addy making his way in through Blanchimont and into the bus stop chicane now. He'll have the Haas of Drismic ahead of him. As Drismic out of the final corner and across the line, it might be a little bit far off. Yeah, 1:44.360, about a second and a half off the top spot for the time being. That's slightly alarming, although for what it's worth, I wouldn't panic if you're one of these guys now. As you know, when you get into a situation when realistically you have a bad first attempt, that first lap that you do have is realistically being used for any sort of track reconnaissance that you can, starting to feel how the car will react, how the setup will react. So to see a guy like potentially Kate Thomas, and as well I would put Nikki 64 and Race Day into that conversation as well. Having been a little bit further back, I would expect them to step it up here quite significantly in their next run. Element making his way in through Campus and Stavilo. Let's see where he is through Sector 2. That is a 1:15.953. I believe it's actually purple through Sector 1. Is the initial offerings that I had seen. Oh, it's into the gravel is Gunnar. I believe might be getting out of the way for some of the oncoming traffic behind him. Either that or he's had a bit of a late break into the Lacombe chicane and into Malmedy after that. Shankadelic is starting another timed lap here, back on the throttle, exiting La Source, and similar to last time, I don't necessarily think he got on throttle as quick as he probably could have. I know these cars are more difficult to handle, as the back end of the car really wants to step away from you every chance that it gets. As down the Kemmel straight here. Say potentially was going to hook up a toe there from the Mercedes of Race Day. He's got a purple Sector 1 Shankadelic as he makes his way through Malmedy and down the hill into Brussels. Down the hill into Pouhon now. He'll have Race Day ahead of him naturally. Well, I tell you what, he's visibly taken Pouhon much quicker now, and he's going to get into the slipstream of the Mercedes ahead of him. Tell you what, Shankadelic, if he keeps this lap clean, he will have a fantastic time on the board. And heading into Campus and Stavilo now. Ayahuasca into the pit lane. I believe he either attempted another time lap or was just finishing one. Only 22 1/1000ths quicker through Sector 2 with Shankadelic, who I thought made some visible improvements since his last time lap. Maybe not. As my wireless controller is getting low. Into the bus stop chicane. He's taken the first section very well. Second section, pretty good too. Across the line for Shankadelic, 1:42.619, has improved by 0.2 of a second, and now currently has Ayahuasca's time by 1/10.5. That is a great way to be there for Shankadelic. Now, considering as well, Ayahuasca's got to find an additional 1/10.5 to get that pole's position. Easier said than done, that's for true. As we got somebody off there going through, I believe that's the Red Bull of Race Chase getting out of the way for one of the McLarens. Shariah, however, 0.4 of a second quicker through Sector 2. Purple as well. This is looking to be a stonking lap here from Shariah. We'll go along with him, making his way in towards Blanchimont and then eventually the bus stop chicane. Following after that, he's got clear track ahead of him, save for one Ferrari well off in the distance, into the braking zone. Took that first section a little bit wider than we saw Shankadelic take it. Maybe a little slow going through the bus stop. We'll see across the line, 1:42.510, and he's improved by half a second, and he's got a 10th back to Shankadelic. Fantastic time from the Visa Cash App Racing Bull of WS, Shariah Coleslaw. I tell you what, that is such a fantastic time to have on the board there, as well considering the quality of driver that's around him, as we've got a Ferrari off, I believe, going up through Eau Rouge. Potentially just Gunner getting out of the way. That's what it appears to be. Both Astons on out laps for the time being. We've got the McLaren of... game's not letting me switch cars at the moment. We've got the McLaren of Fire Up Flow making his way through Malmedy and down the hill into Brussels. I do believe this is a timed attempt here from Fire Up Flow. Hangs it slow around the inside of the corner. Exit Speaker's Corner, down the hill, in through Pouon now. Oh, he's gone well wide that time. Yep, that's an invalidation from Fire Up Flow, as he could not hold on to the car going in through Pouon. He took that first section of the corner and pushed so wide out to the right. That's a shame there for Fire Up Flow. It looked like he was on a good lap. We'll have to wait and see now. We do have one of the Ferraris on an outlap as well. That's Gunner. Not a lot of cars actually on Flyers. Race day, however, quarter of a second quicker through Sector 1. That puts him purple. Down through Brussels now. Takes a bit of a wider line than we saw that of Fire Up Flow. Fire Up Flow, as we saw, was very keen on staying to the inside of that inside of the corner, hanging quite close to the apex. Race day did the opposite of that. Oh, and he's taken Pouon so brilliantly there. Hardly even a lift, I think. Two-wheel into the grass there. Heading into Campus now. This is looking a good lap from race day. I hope he holds on. 3/10 of a second quicker through Sector 2. That's a brilliant way to be for the Mercedes. And now it's all flat out into Blanchimont and eventually the bus stop chicane to end the lap. Not a lot of places to lose time here in Sector 3. It is going to be, realistically, about how well you handle this chicane. We've got 3 minutes and 10 seconds remaining. Bit deep into the braking zone, but he's held it. Back on the throttle. Oh, this is going to be close here. It's not going to be pole. It's going to be P6. 143.762, improves by a quarter of a second. Has Cake Thomas by 8/1000th for the time being, but still, for what it's worth, 4 tenths behind the rest of the top 5. Remember race day last time out in the UK, did not have a very good race. A lot of things happened, not necessarily to him, but around him, as well as to him for that matter as well. Just really could not escape the bad luck and the tumultuous happenings of the Silverstone reverse race. As we begin to see now, the majority of the drivers on track, 4 of which still reside in the pit lane, but Shiraya on an outlap for his final attempt. 2 minutes remaining in the session. Remember, it's a minute and 40 lap time, give or take. So if you are Shankadelic, you better hope that you get one good attempt here. Race Chase on an outlap. On the throttle for him. Race Chase, his final timed attempt of the session. Let's see what he's got in his Red Bull. Bit of a lock-up into the braking zone at La Source. That's not all too uncommon to see. On the throttle. Down the Support Series pit straight, up the hill, in through Eau Rouge and Raidillon. Or if it's the other which way around. Either way. Down the Kemmel straight now, clear track ahead of him, save for a McLaren and a Ferrari ahead. I believe the Ferrari of Gunner might be on a flyer. 3/10 of a second quicker through Sector 1 for Race Chase. He's actually purple in that first sector. That McLaren, I believe, had actually just gone into the gravel there temporarily. Into Brussels. A little bit deep into the braking zone. You can see trying to hold the inside. Then there you go, back on throttle into Speaker's Corner. Beautifully taken as well. Down the hill into the double left of Pouon. Use the corner as wide as you can. Be careful of the grass on the way in. Oh, and he's let it all get away from him. He's exceeded track limits on the way out. Problem there was he took the grass on the apex on the inside. That will usually send the car spinning, and he didn't quite find a way to react. And, you know, at this stage in the game, you can't be lifting off on your final quali run. That's going to be day done there for Race Chase, unless by some miracle he's got extra fuel in the car. Though I think signs are going to point to no on that one. The McLaren a fire-up flow as well has invalidated his final attempt. We've got Ayahuasca making his way down the Kemmel Straight now. His teammate Travis Scott making his way up through Blanchimont, but I don't believe this is going to be an improvement from him. The Aston across the line of Element and Cam Tizzle. 8th and 9th for the pair of the Astons. That's not too bad. This will not be an improvement for Travis Scott. He's into the pit lane now. Johnny Damon is done with his timed attempt. Fire-up flow has invalidated. Coming around the line now, I believe, is going to be the Alpina. Kate Thomas behind him. The Haas of Houdini into the pit lane. Kate Thomas is 5th. The Haas behind, as we can see, is not going to be able to put down the lap. Nikki 64 has not made it happen as well. Gottney Weeb has backed off simultaneously. I believe it's going to be up to Shankadelic here, and he does get pole. 142.308. What a lap from Shankadelic. Oh, but we're not done yet. As Shariah Coleslaw, half a tenth better through Sector 2. 0.2 of a second to get pole here. And he's used about the entirety of his energy store into the braking zone at the bus stop chicane. He's going to run out of deployment. I don't think this is going to be it for Shirai. A bit of a wiggle getting on throttle, but across the line. Oh, and he's going to be shy by 6/100th of a second. What a competitive battle for pole that was. Shankadelic, your pole position with a 132.308. Shariah was just a nick behind. 6/100th of a second was all it took, and I think he ran out of deployment. And I think as well that exit the bus stop was a little sloppy. What a great result that was, and as well with the rain on the way, we are in store for a good one. Here's a look at your order for this. Shankadelic on pole, 6/100ths, back to Shariah. 3rd is Ayahuasca, 4th Fire-Up Flow, 5th Callie Robb, 6th Kate Thomas, 7th is Race Chase. 8th is Race Day, a second and a half behind. Cam Tizzle 9th, Element 10th. It's a 5th row lockout for the Astons. Gottney Weeb 11th, Nikki 12th, 13th Gunner, 14th Houdini, 15th Drismic. 16th Travis Scott, 17th Johnny Damon, and as well as Josh Senior, 17th and 18th, neither of which got a time on the board. What a fantastic qualifying session that was. 2 favorites immediately as far as lap time, but anything can happen, especially with weather on the way. Okay, so it's absolutely raining. And I tell you what, we look into the garage there of Fire-Up Flow. Those look like full wets to me. I tell you what, I don't know if this does look good enough for a set of full wet tires here. But what I can tell you is this. It is raining cats and dogs and any other cliche that you want to throw into that mix. Cam Tizzle asking to pray for us all. Well, I tell you what, Jesus may have bigger fish to fry, but for what it's worth, you might need him tonight. That pretty much changes everything as well, because, again, we got a lot of these drivers who, 7/10 to a second and a half behind the top 2, and we really don't know, what this race is going to look like. Obviously, if it was going to be dry, we were going to look at the qualifying order and say, okay, we've got our 2 favorites pretty much picked out here. That will very likely not be the case when this race kicks off here. I tell you what, as well, considering how this weekend in real life, it does certainly appear that rain is in the forecast for the real life race weekend happening. We'll have a look at the weather report for Stavelot in Belgium. Stavelot, Belgium. Actually, doesn't appear that it's going to rain today. Saturday, Looking unlikely that we find rain there. However, Sunday, 65% chance of rain, and it looks like the peak of it is around 12 o'clock and kind of dips off after that. 65% chance of rain on Sunday. That is going to be one hell of a Grand Prix. And we're going to have one hell of a Grand Prix for you here tonight as well. So here we go, formation lap underway. As we begin to see, let's have a look at who's on what tire, and it is, oh, look at this, okay. Well, you had me interested to begin with, even more interested now. It is about an even 50-50 split up and down the grid about what tire to go on, wet or intermediate. Shankadelic has chosen the full wets, Shariah has chosen the intermediates. Row 2 has chosen the wets, Row 3 has chosen the inters. Race Chase on the full wets. Race Day Cam Tizzle inters. Element and Weeb both wets. Nicky and Gunner both inters. Both Haas's on full wets. My goodness me, I mean, this is about a perfect scenario as you could ask for. The official split on wets to inters is 10 in favor of the full wets, 8 in favor of the intermediates. Let me tell you something, this is going to get real very quickly. We haven't yet seen what the game has told us as far as tire strategy. I don't think it's quite going to matter realistically. I'm not sure how long this rain is going to last, but what I can tell you right now, it does look rather treacherous out there, just on the looks of the formation lap here. As you know, in a full wet session, it is not required that you take a pit stop for a different compound or a pit stop at all for that matter. We could very well see some of these guys take the entirety of the Grand Prix on these full wets. We talk about how having no racing line, to some a benefit, to others a detriment. Well, it's all thrown out the window now, because having to, and here's your strategy: 11 to 13 for the other set of the wet tires, and the game is just flat out telling us that the wets are what you're supposed to be on right about now. Realistically, this race should be starting behind the safety car. I wish that was a thing they did. To tell you the truth, I think that would be a fantastic addition. So the question is now: safety over speed, comfort or calamity? The grid has picked their poisons, and we're about to find out. Shankadelic lines up on the inside of the first row. He will have the better getaway in towards La Source. The question, yeah, it is La Source. I was correct. He'll have the quicker line into La Source, but will Shariah Coleslaw be better off on the intermediates? Were the inners too risky? Were the wets too safe? We're about to find out. Shankadelic on the inside, Shariah on the outside, 5 lights on. And once again here in Division 1, we are underway, and it's a snail's pace getting off the line here, but Shankadelic has cleared the rest of the grid on the way in. Oh, we're getting some carnage towards the back. The Williams is into somebody. Oh, into both Aston Martins there is the Williams of Gottney Weeb. It's a pinball game going on back there in through La Source. Shankadelic has gotten away all right. Shariah Coleslaw is safe for the time being, but has lost some time, and you can see how just overall conservatively they're having to try to climb the hill of Eau Rouge and Radion. As we look back, so many cars fanning out everywhere. It's just an absolute dogfight for track position and for visibility as well up and down the grid. Shankadelic leads them into Lacombe. Shariah's gone deep into the corner. Ayahuasca around the right side, heading into Malmedy now. This is the slowest high-speed chase that we've ever seen. Ayahuasca tries to make his way to the inside, but the door was shut. Shariah Coleslaw slides into the braking zone, into the corner, pushes wide. Ayahuasca wanted the way around, couldn't find it, ran out of room. Heading through Speaker's Corner, down the hill, as they file their way through. Shankadelic still leads, albeit now by 1.5 seconds over Shariah Coleslaw, who it looks to be is struggling on the intermediate tires. There goes Ayahuasca to the inside, going through Pouan. Oh, that's ridiculous, but does he hold on? Shariah's going to go deep through the corner. Yes, he has. Ayahuasca up to the second position. Fire Up Flow has gone into the gravel. He's really trying to regain composure here, but it's not working for him. Race Day, for what it's worth, is up to fourth now. Fire Up Flow into the side of Element as they head in through Campus and Stavilo. By goodness me, so much is happening. We're still on the first lap. I mean, are you serious? Oh, it's just all kicking off here. Gottney Weeb is around Travis Scott. Shankadelic's got a 1.5 lead over Ayahuasca in second, but as we can see now, Ayahuasca is shaving down that gap. I think the wet tires are absolutely the move to be on here, as we are starting to see now. There's Nicky64 trying to find his way past Cam Tizzle, past Fire Up Flow. Contact surely being made up and down the grid. Cam Tizzle and Race Chase side by side, exiting the bus stop chicane and heading down the pit straight. Race Chase gets out in front. Race Day goes around the outside of Shariah for the third position. That puts him up the order. Race Day, who started well on back of the grid, as Johnny Damon, I believe, is retired, that being in the pit lane. I could be wrong, but for the time being, was that the Red Bull of Race Chase having gone around Cam Tizzle on the way into All Rouge? What a fantastic place to make a move, and now Cam Tizzle, that's the Haas of Drizmic trying the left side. It's going to be a drag race here as they are stacked up pretty much 2 by 2. Shariah and Cali Rob, lots of contact being made there, and unfortunately for the both of them, that's going to result in front wings being missing. Cake Thomas was side by side with, I think, either Element or Fire Up Flow. It's all just continuing to kick off here. Hopefully we can get a look. I think one of these guys has got to be missing some front wing after that. What an unbelievably chaotic opening lap it is, and this is going to be a long one for these drivers tonight, especially if it stays in this wet condition. The dry laps are in the 140s, the fastest lap so far, albeit we'll get a more accurate estimate once we're done with this full-on flying lap. It's going to be a battle of endurance tonight for this Division 1 grid, as Ayahuasca within 0.7 of a second of Shankadelic exiting Stavilo. The car really almost got away from him there. He was able to hold on. No DRS naturally. Cali Rob trying to hunt down the back end of Shariah. Fire Up Flow. He's going to be able to try the left side of Cake Thomas here. Up the inside through Blanchimont. And I think Cake Thomas did not have a good exit of Stavilo, and that's why that's happened. We've got a Williams off at the back. That's Josh Sr. having spun around somewhere. It looks as if he's regained his composure. And for what it's worth, again, fastest lap, a 2:04. This is going to be one of the longer Division 1 races that we've seen, even assuming if it does stay green. It looks like the Ferrari of Gunner trying to have a move there at Gottney Weeb. It initially looked, but to no avail. Up the hill through All Rouge and Radion, you could tell a downshift through 7th. They're trying so hard to be careful. Ayahuasca's actually exceeded track limits there, as that car was going to get away from him, and he ended up holding it. 2/10, Cali Rob, he'll make his way to the inside of Shariah now. Both cars on the intermediates as it's a drag race in the rain into Lacombe. Shariah will try to outbrake round the left side, wheel to wheel now, and Shariah, he's not going to be able to hold on. Cali Rob has battled hard, and he's caught the position. But look at this. Cali Rob's going to defend the inside. He's going to push wide under braking here unless he really gets it back down, and that's exactly what he did. Cali Rob was not taking any chances there. He absolutely held the inside of the apex, so Shariah could not find anything. And Shariah into the gravel there temporarily. Shankadelic well wide, going through Puan. That's going to just kind of politely open the door for Ayahuasca realistically here. 0.3 of a second between the two leaders as they head in towards Sector 3. Shankadelic is pushing the pace, trying to do as much as he can. Ayahuasca looks very confident in his Sauber for the time being. Through Stavilo, it's a heavy lift there. Both cars struggling to keep the traction, and what I will say is this, Race Day now on those intermediates is looking rather quick. Finding that dry line, you can visibly see it there. The rain is not pooling up on the racing surface anymore as it was in the beginning. You could see Race Day. That Mercedes is going to get right quick here very shortly. And he moves into the chicane. We've got Cam Tizzle. Will he potentially have a look at Drizmic? On the brakes, big lock up for the Aston. And he's kept that one safely. Race day at 2:03.473. I think the intermediates are going to be the preferred tire here, if they are not already. You can just see how tentative that they are going up through Eau Rouge and Raidillon. No DRS, obviously. Within the slipstream they go. You can see the dry line starting to begin to form as they continue to make laps on the circuit and evacuate the amount of water that they are. As it looks like the Alpine team is going to be inverting positions here. Cake has allowed Nicky through, and Nicky will have the freedom to chase down Fire Up Flow for the 7th position. So I tell you what, we've got a bit of a procession going on in the back half of the grid. We're seeing some good racing here. You got the Haas of Drismic really trying it on Race Chase. And Cam Tizzle trying to join the fray as well. Shankadelic still leads this one. We'll take you through who has gained and lost what on these opening couple of laps. Shankadelic has retained the top spot. Ayahuasca +1. Race Day +5. Up from the 8th spot and now to 3rd. He's done phenomenally. Kelly Robb +1. Shariah lost a lot of positions on the opening, considering I think at that time the medium tires was not the go. Now it absolutely looks as if that's the tire that you want to be on here, but in the opening stages off the start, that was not the case, so he's down 3 to the 5th position. Element is up from 10th up to 6th. Fire Up Flow has lost 3. Nicky 64 is in the grass. That's what he is. He's in the grass exiting Stavilo, and he's now fallen back to 10th. He was +4 and is now back to where he began in 12th. Oh, what a terrible go of it there for Nicky as Cam Tizzle's going to try it. Around the outside of Drismic, heading into the chicane. Oh, and Cam Tizzle well deep through the braking zone there. He's going to have to let all of those... Oh, I tell you what, that's unfortunate there for Cam Tizzle, picking up 3 seconds for corner cutting. You know he hasn't done that on purpose. I think, for what it's worth, he probably could get that one removed with the help of the stewards. As Ayahuasca now goes off track. 3-second time penalty for him. That car went wide, exiting Raidillon then in Race Day around the left side. And I think he's going to pick up the slipstream of the Red Bull ahead. Oh, well, at least for the time being, he's gotten around the Sauber. Race Day. This is confidently, of course, I missed the opening round in Bahrain, the race that he did win, I believe, if I'm to be corrected about that. Yeah, he won the opening round in Bahrain. This is... Since I have been watching Division 1 this season and commentating on it, this is the best that Race Day has looked all season. And, well, he's still a bit of a mountain to climb here, considering the talent that's in and around him, as we got a lot of positions happening here through Brussels, as Cam Tizzle getting more room on the outside, now to the inside of the speaker's corner, trying to get the spot away from Travis Scott, and I think he will. Travis Scott, right around the outside. Wheel to wheel through Pouan. And Travis Scott's going to drift wide. Cam Tizzle gave him all the room. The Sauber just did not get back down in time. And oh, by the way, Kelly Robb is joining the fray. Kelly Robb, your championship leader, who leads Fire Up Flow by 11 points coming into today's Grand Prix. This is a fantastic way to be here for Kelly Robb, if he can hold on and make the correct moves at the correct times and maybe get himself up towards the top spot. Shankadelic has gone deep into the braking zone. Yes, he has. Shankadelic has missed the corner and he's lost the top spot. Race Day will lead the lap. Ayahuasca into the pit lane. I think we're going to start to seeing these drivers on the wet tires are going to be going for the inters here. Unless he's got front wing damage that I don't see. Intermediate tires are going to be coming on here for Ayahuasca, and I think that's got to be the correct move. It is still pissing it down out there, but for what it's worth, the dry line is being had, and the inters are the move. And having Shankadelic miss the braking zone in the bus stop chicane, will he follow suit and make that same decision? That's going to be what we have to look out for here, realistically, as Nicky 64 has got 3 seconds for multiple warnings. As it looks like, speaking of Nicky 64, he's trying to battle Drismic here. He has gotten around him heading into Lacombe, as well as we've got Travis Scott and Gunner That position has just been changed. Still the battle for the top spot now. Race Day into the gravel there, exiting Stavelo. This could open the door for Cali Rob. He's going to have to be careful, and there he goes, round the left side. Cali Rob's going to go for it, and he'll have it. Cali Rob to the top spot now. The rain definitely appears to be getting lighter. It is still raining very hard here into the braking zone. Oh, is he going to be able to hold on? He will. That did not sound good. That was definitely a lock up there. For Cali Rob, that got kind of sketchy. We've seen a couple of cars miss this braking zone into the chicane here, and I'm a little surprised we didn't see Shankadella come in for the intermediate tires. We saw that with Ayahuasca. We'll take a look at what he's doing. 3-second time penalty for him, obviously. Back on the throttle here with his inters. Drismic is ahead of him. 3.5 of a second as they make their way into La Source. Drismic's going to push well wide. Ayahuasca down to the inside as the Haas either misses the braking zone or the car just really couldn't come up with the grip to be able to hold on. Up the hill through Al Rouge and Radion now, and that Sauber definitely looks healthy going up through that corner. Back on the throttle, and look at the amount of pace that he does have, and he will easily go around the outside of the Haas in question. Nicely done there for Ayahuasca. Got a 3-car battle going here for the 5th position. Element leads Fire Up Flow by 5.5, who leads Cake Thomas. Cake Thomas into the gravel. He's had to back off. That car coming out of Malmedy went like noticeably wide there and had to really back off in order to stay in the correct direction. Still 8.5 of a second. Cake Thomas remains. We'll go back to the battle for the lead. It's half a second between the two. As we've also got Houdini and Cam Tizzle battling it out behind. Bit of a good battle going on here. Travis Scott looking for... Oh, we've got... who is that? That's the V-carb there. Oh, sorry, that's the Haas of... Houdini's gone quite wide there from Pouon. And I believe maybe the Aston ahead of him as well kind of went wide. Ayahuasca looking to get up to race chase now. He'll have the slipstream heading in through Blanchimont here as the rain is definitely getting lighter. He'll have the inside and he'll have that one easily. Cake Thomas up to Fire Up Flow and up to Element as well. Shankadelic now into the pit lane, and this will be that stop for the intermediate tires that realistically should have happened a little while ago, as Element's going to make his way in as well. Fire Up Flow decides to stay out. That's quite interesting from the McLaren. Cake Thomas behind him as Ayahuasca now got the fastest lap, 1:58.999, as the track appears to be ramping up here. Fire Up Flow's gone deep into the braking zone at La Source. That was slightly sketchy for him. It's 4.5 between the top two as they make their way down the Kemmel Straight into Lacombe, and I believe Race Day might be the quicker of the two cars, but Cali Rob has been the better of them so far this season. A good result here for Race Day, and he can get himself back into the championship conversation. Cake Thomas gets around Fire Up Flow going down the Kemmel Straight. We kind of expected that one to happen. Those wet tires were never going to have the grip going up through Al Rouge and Radion as Travis Scott wheel to wheel now with Houdini heading into Lacombe. And Travis Scott, that car is going to slide around under braking. I don't believe Houdini actually made contact with him there. I believe the back end really got away from Travis Scott, and he's lost at least 2 positions there in the process. Thankfully for him, he's held onto the car and the track stays green. Looks like Josh Senior having been overtaken there. I'll say overtaken. Looks like he may have made a slight error somewhere along the line. It's 2.5 of a second between the top two as Race Day follows in behind. As Cali Rob's going to push deep into the bus stop. Race Day trying around the outside. He'll try to switch back to the left side now. Back on the throttle. Race Day's got the better acceleration. And across the line, Race Day's going to get ahead of Cali Rob. And he will eventually, the Ferrari will tuck back in line. And Cali Rob now is going to go back down to the inside. They are wheel to wheel, exiting La Source. Back on the throttle, and Race Day somehow is going to stay ahead. That one was risky there. And now the battle's going to be going down the Kemmel Straight. Nicky 64 as Fire Up Flow into the pit lane for the intermediate tires. Here's Cali Rob with the amount of pace he does have to the inside of Race Day and up to the top spot. Meanwhile, Shariah, who started second, is now behind by 7.5 seconds. Kate Thomas back by 9.5. Ayahuasca's going to be looking to hunt him down here very shortly. Still the battle amongst the top two. Race Day is actually having since been overtaken again by Cali Rob, has started to fall behind ever so slightly. Looks like as we're nearly wheel to wheel here between Kate Thomas and Ayahuasca as they make their way through the no-name corner. I was going to say we were right close there between the Ferrari of Gunnar and Travis Scott not too long ago. We're Pouon now. Ayahuasca trying his best to find some sort of way, some sort of advantage in the line around Kate Thomas, but for the time being, it's just not quite there. We'll check back with them in a little bit. Meanwhile, the battle for the lead still raging on. It's 0.4 seconds between Race Day and Cali Rob. That Mercedes does look better in the straight line, but I think that Ferrari might be easier to drive for the time being. We'll have to wait and see. I tell you what, Race Day is putting down some serious pace to Cali Rob, as the next time by will be at halfway through this Grand Prix, which has only seen one retirement, believe it or not, despite the full wet start that we did have. Ayahuasca outbraking Kate Thomas into the chicane, and a bit of a switchback needed here from Kate Thomas as back on the throttle they go. Ayahuasca, I believe, is going to begin to pull ahead. Kate Thomas wanted to have a small peek to the inside, not quite. Ayahuasca is going to push a little bit deep through the braking zone at La Source. He'll get back on the throttle and he will stay ahead. But now heading down the Kemmel Straight once more, Cali Rob does lead, and he will stay in the lead for the time being. Kate Thomas now 0.2 seconds. Race Chase the fastest lap at a 1:58.953. Race Chase back in 13th position, and now setting the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Travis Scott might have a look at Gunnar here very shortly. Looks like a lot of cars have actually decided to come in and make a stop, some of which I know started on the wet tires, such as Ayahuasca, such as Shankadelic. I believe, realistically, everybody that has stopped did start on those wet tires, save for Josh Sr., who still hasn't. Into Brussels now. You can see Travis Scott trying to keep that line more to the inside of the corner, whereas Gunnar is really trying to get some acceleration, find some sort of way to be able to keep ahead of the Sauber, who is really on his way, let's put it that way. Cam Tizzle back to Nicky 64 for the 6th position, and Shankadelic's in the picture for this as well. As the Aston looks to the left side, the Red Bull will get backed up as the Aston had to back off and tuck back in line behind the Alpine. Into Campus now. We'll check back with these fellas in just a little bit. Meanwhile, we got a battle for the lead still. It's 0.6 seconds, even less than that now, as they head down the pit straight. Race Day's got the fastest lap. It's a 1:58.522. This track is getting quick. Bit of a slide on the back end there for Cali Rob getting on the throttle, as Shankadelic's now got a 3-second penalty. This battle for the 6th position is all up to genuine pace now, as Ayahuasca the fastest lap. It's a 1:57.638. For what it's worth, Ayahuasca's got that fastest lap. He does not immediately appear to be shaving that time off to Shariah, unless I'm wrong. That could be. Exiting La Source, Cam Tizzle 0.3 seconds behind Nicky 64 for the 6th position. No advantage quite yet. The rain is definitely getting lighter. It is still coming down, but the dry line definitely there. Race Day appears to have backed off, at least for the time being. He doesn't look so inclined to press for the time being. Although, again, we think that Mercedes is better in the straight line. That's kind of the estimation that we've thought about. Who's gone wide there? Cam Tizzle's gone wide through Speaker's corner. Yes, he has. That car, I believe, was on the curb on the way into the corner and gone way deep into the gravel. And he's missing a bit of the front wing as well. Maybe did he make contact with the car ahead? It's possible. Maybe like under braking, was he just not there? Oh, that car is going to slide across the circuit, and he is safe at first as that car comes to where... Oh, he's got a puncture on the right rear. I didn't even notice that. Has that only just happened now? That Aston Martin's got a puncture on the right rear, and he's going to have to absolutely limp that car back home. And I don't even think he's going to be able to get a safety car here, realistically. As there's another look. Oh, a puncture in the wet. Come on now. Talk about adding insult to injury, and that car... Wow. Meanwhile, the battle for the lead. Callie Robb still leads Race Day by half a second. Into the braking zone at Lacombe. We are officially halfway done with this Grand Prix. And what a Grand Prix it's been as well. I tell you what, no line is certainly making its case known here. As Johnny Damon... As Drismick's got a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings now. Still 7/10 of a second between the top two, as the grid is definitely starting to spread their way out here. I don't think necessarily by design. Oh, into the back end of Nicky 64, Shankadelic. He really missed that. Went clean into the back of the Alpine, is now missing front wing. Two-tenths of a second between the top two. As Race Day, into the inside of Callie Robbie, couldn't quite get there safely. As we've got Element and Fire Flow as well. Battling on behind, exiting the bus stop chicane. I think that McLaren's going to win the battle for the time being. Have to circle all the way back up to the top. It's 3/10 of a second between them. Eight and a half tenth of a second here, and I'm starting to wonder if potentially we will see a strategic stop for these fellas on the intermediate tires. Of course, the rain is getting lighter, but I'm not entirely sure. I mean, it does start to look as if we may get some dry running by the end of it. It'll be interesting to see for sure. Two-tenths of a second. Shankadelic to Nicky 64. Heading into Sector 3. Shankadelic trying to get back on throttle again. He's missing that front wing after having collided with the Alpine going through Pouan not long ago. Oh, and into the gravel there. I think he's just straight up gone wide, entering Stavilo, and yeah, that car went into the gravel. Shiraya entering the pit lane now, and we were talking about the potential for strategical stops. I think that's what we're seeing. As the battle for the lead now. Less than 0.2 of a second heading down the Kemmel Straight. Race day really camping within the slipstream here. He'll have to try the left side. Cali Robb is not going to afford him that opportunity. Matter of fact, Cali Robb didn't even really go into block that position. I kind of thought we were going to see the move made, but that's actually not the case. Down into Brussels race day. Still following in so closely behind. I just want to see... Oh! That's interesting! Shiraya Coleslaw is on the medium tires. Well, we had the feeling that the track was going to begin to get dry as the rain has gotten certainly lighter. But look at him. On the slick tires when it's still obviously raining here. This is such a risk for Shiraya. And for what it's worth, he's handling it quite well for the time being. I'll have to keep an eye on that one. That is definitely a story if it does happen, as look at this. Still, nose to tail here. Race day up to Cali Robb. 3.5 of a second exiting Stavilo. In through Blanchimont now. Race day's realistically going to have to let off here. There's no way you can make a move through this section of the track unless you really find a way around the outside. Into the bus stop chicane. Cali Robb still leads. Shankadelic and Nikki 64, those two cars will swap position on the way through Le Fond. 0.2 of a second. Got 7 laps to go now, which is still a hell of a lot of time when you think about it. 0.3 of a second. Race day still following in as much as he possibly can up the hill through Eau Rouge and Raidillon. I tell you what, both cars got away pretty evenly, but Race Day's going to have the superior pace. Down to the inside, energy being used. Drag race down the Kemmel Straight into the braking zone at Lacombe, and it's going to be Race Day, unless can Cali Robb find a way to switch him back or something of that nature, and I don't think it's going to happen here. For what it's worth for Cali Robb, his immediate championship rival, the Fire Up Flow, is in a fierce battle with Nikki 64 and his a couple of other cars. Cali Robb does not need to panic if he doesn't win this race here. He's been the most consistent driver all season. If he doesn't win today, it'd be a shame, but it would still even further promote the championship lead that he does have. Think in the long run, Cali Robb. Don't get all caught up on trying to win this one, aggressively. Win it outright if you can. Don't risk the points haul that you could bring in on behalf of it. As look at that behind, Shiraya all out of shape, as well as Fire Up Flow. Goodness me, intermediates versus mediums here. Shiraya is actually losing. I am severely impressed with how well Shiraya is holding on to that V-carb, despite being on the medium tires in what is still raining on the wet surface. Oh, and even taking the curbs as well. Those curbs are usually the most slick part of the track in these conditions. And Shiraya is not afraid, as we've got a car, yellow flag, atop of Raidillon, I believe. Or no, that's still down the still down the Support Series pit straight. That's a puncture for Josh Senior. Yes, it is. I tell you what, this game now, almost no forgiveness at all when you go for a slide. You go for enough of a slide on already worn tires, you're going to get yourself a puncture, and that's what's happened here. And that's what happened with Cam Tizzle as well, for what it's worth. And even worse for Josh Senior, he's going to have to take that car the entire length of the circuit now as the leaders race past him, as Race Day is going to defend the inside. Cali Robb will have to go the long way around. He'll have the inside through the second phase of Lacombe, but it's not going to happen. And that car looks a whole handful. As Shiraya, I believe something has happened here. Yes, he has. Shiraya and Race Chaser off, exiting the chicane. And there's a bit of front wing in the middle of the circuit there. Oh, that's dangerous. That is only just off the racing line. A little surprised that that's not a virtual safety car to get that off. realistically, that is a very sketchy section of the track to have debris. As once again, the Williams, trying his best to stay out of the way for the oncoming traffic, is now, Race Day's actually got a 2.5 seconds back to Cali Robb. Nicky leads the charge back to Element, 0.5 seconds. Element might be on for one of his better finishes in Midwest in his career, actually, if this result can hold. Breaking to the inside of Brussels. Nicky 64 with the wing damage. Element sneaks his way to the inside. And then doesn't. That was a little weird. Oh, they're overtaking through the yellow flag. I see. Okay, so, unfortunate there for Element, because what's happened, well, Josh Sheener's just been disqualified. That's a front wing missing there for Element. He's gone into the back end of somebody. He's hit Nicky 64. Going through Puhan, and he's now missing the front wing on the right side. And now, that's Fire Up Flow having gone wide. Now, what's happened there is Element had that spot hanging like pretty much clean on the inside of Brussels, but because Josh Senior's Williams was parked to the inside, mind you, off the circuit as well, you cannot overtake in the yellow flag, and that's why Element has had to give that spot back, as Cali Robb has actually chosen. Are those soft tires? Yes, they are. Soft tires on for Cali Robb, as he believes this track is going to get dry here shortly. Race Day now has a 14 and nearly 15-second lead on Ayahuasca, who's got 5 seconds back to Cali Robb, and Cali Robb now on the slick, soft tires. Element and Fire Up Flow side by side, exiting the bus stop. Bit of contact there between them. Wheel to wheel as they'll be heading into La Source. The McLaren still on the inside. Fire Up Flow up the inside. Can Element find a way to switch him back? It doesn't look like that's going to be the case, unfortunately. Oh, and I didn't immediately notice how much of the front wing Element was actually missing. That looks to be the end plate, potentially, and maybe even a little more. I think definitely the end plate. I'm not sure anything more than that, really. Shariah, I believe, has had a spin somewhere along the line as he has now fallen back to 13th. A lot of 3-second penalties on track here. We'll keep the penalty tracker open because there's no guarantee that these results are going to stay as they are. I haven't really seen anything warranting of steward reports today. I think Nicky 64 will have a case with a couple of drivers getting into his rear end there and potentially giving him some rear wing damage. That might be something worth looking into. Fire Up Flow, he's going to try it into Puhan on the inside. Yes, he will. Oh, but he's going to go off track on the way out. Rejoins the circuit, and Nicky gets back down to the inside. It's Race Day now with the fastest lap, a 1:56.581. It's Gotney Weeb as well as Shariah have both picked up 3-second penalties, I believe, on the exit of Puhan. At the line this time will be 4 laps to go here in Spa. What a fantastic Grand Prix this has been. Action every turn, every which way you look. And the rain's still falling, but the track is definitely drying up. 2.5 tenths of a second here. Fire Up Flow will be looking to the inside of Nicky when the opportunity arises. Nicky's overshot it. Yes, he has. Nicky goes deep into the corner, and he'll lose both positions. Nicky will make his way into the pit lane now. Oh, so unfortunate for him, but I think he's done the right thing there because he saw Cam Tizzle get that penalty earlier on for taking the escape road correctly. Now Travis Scott's got the fastest lap at a 1:56.061. Soft tires going on for Nicky. We've got officially now intermediates, softs, and mediums all on the same track. And for what it's worth, I think the dries might not be the move for the time being, as Cali Robb is losing time to Ayahuasca still. Element 6.5 tenths back to Fire Up Flow. The grid starting to get slightly spread out now, but still action to be had. At the line this time, as I said, 4 laps to go. And Ayahuasca now starting to gain a little bit of time. He's about 15.5 behind at the start of the lap. He's now 14.7, so keep an eye on that. Only 2 drivers now within. Was I believe Race Day's in the pit lane? Yes, he is. Race Day is in the pit lane. What will the Mercedes do? Will it be a set of slick tires here, potentially? Yes, they will. They're going to be softs for the Mercedes. Have they come in too early, these fellas? I mean, you got to think about it. Cali Rob is not gaining any time up to Ayahuasca. Ayahuasca's still in those inters. Ayahuasca, the 13-lap old intermediates as well. Oh, this is going to be one hell of a try here. Yeah, Race Day still dropping time to Ayahuasca. Of course, Ayahuasca's got the 3-second penalty. He better hope that this one gets dry and the track gets dried out by the end. Because right now, 5 seconds is the delta. Fire up flow, 155.781. Cali Rob's gone off atop of Eau Rouge. He's gone to the outside. This track is under caution, and the safety car will take to the circuit. Up the hill, he clearly's lost it on either the inside and shot across to the right side of the circuit. Oh, dearie me. We were talking about Cali Rob. All he needed to do was to keep the car under control and not take too many risks, and he would have had a hell of a points haul, and he would have furthered his lead at the top of the championship table. Fire Up Flow is going to take the points haul here, having come into today's race 11 points down. Fire Up Flow will walk, assuming he finishes this Grand Prix, will enter the next round in, I want to say it's Imola, as the championship leader. Wow. But now what's the move, right? Race Day is on the soft tires. Realistically here for Race Day, he won't have to worry about anything. He's already made his stop. I tell you what, luck is always helpful when it comes to racing drivers. Race Day, for what it's worth, has done a hell of a job today, has put in such a good effort. But for what it's worth, with how the rain is going to be ending, for having already took those soft tires, you know, getting into the final stages here, having no guarantee that the track was going to be dried out in time, he's gotten a hell of a lot lucky here in the timing of this safety car, and he'll take the lead outright. As Ayahuasca into the pit lane, it'll be another set of intermediates for Ayahuasca. Bold decision there. Ayahuasca will enter the final stages of this race behind Race Day. The rain still falling on the intermediate tires. Remember, as we were on track there, Race Day was not exactly gaining time to those cars ahead. He really wasn't. And so now, with Ayahuasca having a 3-second penalty, he's gone for fresh intermediates instead of a set of slick compounded tires, as we see Race Day has done. We're going to get, at most, 2 laps of green flag racing here to decide this one. As we've got a whole mess of cars making their way in. Shariah has a drive-through. Travis Scott has a drive-through as well. Of course, you can't serve that under the safety car. You have to serve it on the next green flag lap. Houdini has gone to a set of softs. I mean, we've got everything but the kitchen sink in this one. The majority of cars on track choosing slick tires. Ayahuasca has chosen a new set of intermediates. Fire Up Flow and Element remain on the same intermediates that they have been since having transitioned over from wets. And look at this. That rain is definitely getting quite light. The track no longer appears visibly greasy. This is going to be one hell of a fight to the finish here in Division 1. It's going to take a hot minute for the grid to catch up to themselves here. I would assume the game may even pull the safety car in at the end of this lap. We will at most, yes it will, 2 laps to go will be the total, one of which with DRS. If that's even turned on, I'm not sure this track is dry enough for the game to turn on DRS. I could be wrong. We'll have to wait and see. What a fight to the finish we are going to have. Race Day on the softs, the rain still falling. Ayahuasca on the fresh intermediate tires. Are those the best compounds to be on here? By the way, there's the back marker of Cam Tizzle in the way. 2 laps to go at the line. Race day out of the bus stop chicane. And we are back to green flag racing here. On the throttle, the Mercedes gets away. Ayahuasca trying his best. Of course, he's got the 3-second penalty as well. What's happening with Ayahuasca? That car is so dreadfully slow. I don't really know what happened with that Sauber, but he is not... he wasn't even necessarily caught sleeping. That car just didn't take off. Up through Eau Rouge and Raidillon. And let me tell you something now, the rain has finally stopped. A 2-lap gamble for fresh, soft tires for race day as Cake Thomas will go around the outside of Ayahuasca going through Lacombe. And now the Sauber will try his way back around the outside through Malmedy, and he's going to get there. He's going to be losing some positions, obviously, with the 3-second penalty that's in his way. But race day 2016, what a gamble he has taken for the fresh softs while it was still raining. Several drivers were going on to the slick tires. Kelly Robb went up the hill through Eau Rouge and Raidillon and retired from the session and pulled out the safety car with 4 laps to go. Race day, unintentionally, has timed this to perfection, and he immediately has gotten out to some hell of a gap here. And looks like he's well on his way to taking this win. Shankadelic round the outside of Element. Element, by the way, what a hell of a day that he's had. Looking to be a career best finish here in Division 1 if possible. He'll have to still battle Shankadelic, and Shankadelic's got that 3-second penalty to boot. He's not going to be able to get around the Red Bull, I think, on merit. That penalty is going to have to come into play. The battle for the second position is Fire Up Flow and Cake Thomas. Remember, Kelly Robb entered today 11 points clear in the championship. All he needed to do was finish in a good place. This Fire Up Flow was not necessarily a competitive car today. He really wasn't. Now, Fire Up Flow, assuming all still goes his way as Cam Tizzle is retired, assuming all goes his way, will enter Imola next time out as the championship leader. What drama! You couldn't write a story better than this, really. 0.3 of a second, Cake Thomas, the pace that he's got, and DRS was finally activated on this final lap. Oh, but Cake Thomas has gone deep through the braking zone. He comes back out on track. Ayahuasca still trying the outside, and it looks like he's going to get it back. Cake Thomas had gone cleanly deep into the braking zone at Lacombe, got back out on track, gave the spot back to Ayahuasca, and now has to overtake him again. But meanwhile, Fire Up Flow still behind, as we've got an Aston off at the top. I believe that's Cam Tizzle's. The retirement of Cam Tizzle. The robot has taken over the car. 0.2 of a second, and by the way, Shankadelic on the 3-second penalty as well. He'd be losing his spot to Element. He's got to get this spot over Fire Up Flow realistically to look to keep 5th. And look at that. I think even... Did that even just look like another little splash of rain there? No DRS, but obviously heading through Blanchimont. That one's going to be close. Shankadelic round the outside as we have a yellow flag towards the back. I'm not sure who it is, but what I am sure is this. Race Day, who needed a good result here, won the opening round in Bahrain, has won the Belgian Grand Prix in dramatic fashion. Ayahuasca will cross the line in second. He will drop back, I believe, at least to 5th. Cake Thomas will finish second. Ayahuasca keeps 3rd. As Shankadelic had gotten around Fire Up Flow, Shankadelic had the penalty, and that's exactly what they needed. Shankadelic needed to get around the McLaren to stay in 5th, Element in 6th, but in doing so, Ayahuasca has kept his podium. What a phenomenal Grand Prix we've had for you, as Shiraya is going to serve his drive-through here in Michael Schumacher fashion. And he's got a 10 for speeding into the pit lane on top of that. Unserved drive-through, he's in the pit lane. Well, ladies and gentlemen, what a fantastic Grand Prix we've had for you today. Congratulations to Race Day 2016 for the win. Cake Thomas and Ayahuasca for the podium. I tell you what, no line might be the move. Until next week when we head to Imola. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.